The power of dreams. Honda has long been driven by the power of dreams. Driven by our own dreams, we create mobility to enable people to transcend and augment. That is the unalterable challenge we take on. It has been, it is now, and it will be in the future. We enable people to transcend the constraints of time and place so that they can go wherever they want and get there faster. Even to places that were impossible to reach. We enable people to augment their every possibility so that they can experience the joy of going places as they wish and expand their life's potential endlessly. Our ability to create is the key. That is why we are willing to struggle and devote ourselves to give shape to such mobility. We continue to move forward. We envision a future where all dreams resonate, expand, and accelerate. Your dreams will become the driving force of new dreams. The power of dreams. How we move you.
Good afternoon. I am Mibe. I thank you for taking time to join us today. 3 years have quickly passed since I became the global CEO of Honda. This is my fourth annual business briefing to provide an update on our ongoing initiatives. Today, I would like to share progress made since my inaugural conference. As a comprehensive mobility company, Honda provides a wide range of mobility products and services to customers. As you just saw in the video, all our corporate activities are guided towards our direction, represented by a global brand slogan, "The power of dreams, how we move you." Create, transcend, augment. The goal of our activities is to continue to offer people the joy and freedom of mobility. Mobility, or the freedom of mobility, has the value of enabling people to transcend the constraints of time and space and augment various possibilities. We believe that mobility, which provides such universal and essential value, is absolutely necessary for the growth of people and society. We are determined to continue offering the value of the freedom of mobility through our products and services, the source of the power that drives everything Honda does. To offer freedom of mobility sustainably to more people, we must take on challenges to eliminate the environmental impact and ensure safety for everyone. 3 years ago, Honda set two major 2050 goals. 1. Realize carbon neutrality, CN, for all products and corporate activities, and 2. Achieve zero traffic collision fatalities. Environment has attracted attention worldwide and in the automobile industry for some time. However, to achieve zero environmental impact in the true sense, electrified cars are not enough. We must address the entire product life cycle. Instead of waiting for someone else to do it for us, Honda wants to be at the forefront of this challenge and strive to realize our goals. Moreover, we would like to create a trend where people aligned with us will take their own actions, enabling us to achieve high goals that Honda alone cannot achieve. With such passion, we are focusing on various technological research and initiatives in environmental technologies, particularly electrification and intelligence. Honda recently announced its intention to establish a comprehensive EV value chain in Canada centered on batteries. It is a proof of Honda's commitment to zero environmental impact throughout the product cycle, a challenge we'll take on with partners whose passion aligns with Honda's. We began exploring a strategic partnership with Nissan because both are striving to create value in the software field, mostly in electrification and intelligence. This diagram is a conceptual representation of the layers of Honda's various initiatives and strategies. At the core is the electrification of motorcycles, automobiles, and power products. But we are also working on various solutions such as energy management and resource circulation for our electrification goals. Moreover, to further expand mobility potential, we are taking on challenges to create new value, including in the skies with eVTOL aircraft. These initiatives will lead to dream-inspiring products and services, which in turn will link to zero environmental impact and safety for everyone, indicating the pathway Honda should take as a comprehensive mobility company. Today, I would like to explain our core initiatives, mainly electrification of our automobile products. We have set specific numerical targets for automobile electrification, i.e., to raise EV and FCEVs sales proportion to 40% by 2030, 85% by 2035, and 100% by 2040 globally. And we have been making progress through various initiatives, including the recently announced comprehensive EV value chain centered on batteries, as well as new EV models and advancement of production technologies. As we all know, the environment surrounding automobile electrification is drastically changing, and many in the West refer to the slowdown in EV sales, saying the popularization of EVs has plateaued. There are different approaches Honda can take towards 2050 carbon neutrality. For example, a solution to zero environmental impact in powering large mobility products such as aircraft and large vessels will be the use of SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuels, and e-fuel, industry's mainstream approach from the perspective of cruising range. At Honda, we maintain our belief that EVs are the most effective solution in the mobility products such as motorcycles and automobiles, these small mobility products. And in the long run, we are confident that the EV shift will continue to proceed steadily. EVs are in their nascency. We have already factored in fluctuations in its deployment. We should not get caught up in current changes, but look ahead to the second half of the 2020s. We must prepare ourselves for the medium to long-term perspective and build a strong EV brand and business. That is our biggest mission facing us today. At its nascency, we should first focus on aggressively introducing EV models fit for each region. This will bring steady progress in building EV development and production systems, while amassing broad knowledge, including alliance partners. And once EVs become widespread in the second half of this decade and beyond, we will introduce the new Honda Zero Series, a new global EV series starting in 2026. As of 2030, EVs and FCEVs will represent 40% of our global auto sales, equaling more than 2 million units. Working towards this future, we will steadily pursue the following three initiatives while making timely investment decisions: introduction of Honda unique attractive EVs, establishment of a comprehensive EV value chain focused on batteries, and advancement of EV production technologies and facilities. Now let me explain these three initiatives one by one.
First, our initiatives toward the introduction of attractive EVs only Honda can offer. Let me first reintroduce the Honda Zero Series, which will play a key role in the Honda EV strategy. The Honda Zero Series will be a completely new EV series created from zero with a new approach of thin, light, and wise. With this new series, we will strive to further advance our concept and the joy of driving, which Honda values in our car making, and take the joy and freedom of mobility to even greater heights. In January of this year, at CES, we unveiled two concept models, namely Saloon and Space Hub. As for the Saloon, a flagship model for the series, we are planning for the market launch and the model very similar to this concept in 2026. Now the new thin, light, and wide EV development approach with which we will create attractive EV only Honda can offer. First is thin. We will strive to offer a value to our customers with space that excels in both driving performance and comfort, embodying Honda's long-cherished concept in the EV era. With the coordination between our new dedicated platform for mid to large size EVs and advanced power unit, we will realize a package featuring unprecedented styling with a low vehicle height and a short overhang. By adopting a compact A-axle and an ultra-thin battery pack, the motor room and floor will be made as thin as possible. Also, we will optimize the parts layout, reduce the number of parts, and adopt Honda's original collision control technology to achieve both low vehicle height and maximum cabin space. Specifically, we will fully leverage technologies Honda has amassed through our long history of car making. That is how we will realize a spacious and comfortable interior space despite the low vehicle height. Moreover, featuring an intuitive user interface and exhilarating visibility, the cabin is designed to realize more comfort and more fun of driving. Next, light. With our new EV series models, we will realize sporty driving, leading to the joy of driving. Honda's commitment and our car making. In addition, we will adopt all new power unit, made lighter and thinner by applying our original technology to mass through the development of F1 machines and HEV models. This will reduce the overall vehicle weight by approximately 100 kilograms compared to initial Honda EVs. Moreover, heavy components such as the battery and power unit will be placed low in the center of the body to realize a low center of gravity, resulting in stable vehicle behavior and a sporty driving performance. As a technology to realize vehicle control at the will of the driver, we further advanced the motion management system developed based on the posture control technology amassed through the development of robotics technologies. By combining the efficient power unit and aerodynamic technology, we will aim to achieve both a sporty driving experience and the world-class electricity efficiency performance. With that, each of the Honda Zero Series models will achieve a sufficient range of more than 300 miles. Now, WISE. Equipped with an original vehicle OS, Honda Zero Series models will offer a digital UX optimized for each individual customer in conjunction with the advancement of connected technologies. Honda will proceed with our own independent development of the underlying E&E architecture, the vehicle OS, and various applications that will be on the vehicle OS. Moreover, Honda will apply original customization to the SoC semiconductors installed in Honda 0 Series models. A customized SoC will feature AI, essential for automation. The EV models introduced in the second half of the 2020s will advance in a way that they will possess intelligence to be more attentive to the needs of each individual customer. Currently, a number of ECUs are serving individual functions to control the vehicle systems. For Honda 0 Series models, we will adopt a centralized architecture, consolidating such functions to a core ECU and serving as a single brain for the vehicle. This will make it possible to speedily offer new experiences never before possible. We're also aiming to offer a seamless mobility experience for the entire process from the moment the customer enters the vehicle until they leave. To this end, we will realize ADAS that are more in tune with human sensibilities by adopting technologies, including AI. As for driver assistive technologies, we will leverage our Level 3 automated driving technology Honda put into practical use ahead of the others, and make automated driving functions available in a broader speed range on expressways and regular roads. Moreover, by providing our customers with support for their mobility experience, including pickup arrangement and parking of the vehicle, we will realize the joy of freedom of mobility with less stress to the customers. These functions will be continuously updated with OTA updates, further advance our EVs as attractive products only Honda can offer. Now, about the procurement of batteries, core components, which determines the competitiveness of EVs, as well as the plans to establish a comprehensive EV value chain with a focus on batteries. During the first half of the 2020s, which we consider the dawn of EVs, our basic approach has been to procure batteries from the most appropriate partners in each region to ensure stable procurement while minimizing the cost. Then, in the mid-2020s, the transitional period for EVs, we will begin battery production with our JV partners. In the U.S., in 2025, our joint venture EV battery plant with LG Energy Solution will begin production of 40 gigawatt per hour of batteries per year. By building a solid value chain with the partner, the largest in North America, we will realize competitive battery cost. The lightweight and compact battery packs, which will be produced with our high-density packaging technologies, will be installed in the Honda 0 Series and contribute to enhance the product value. We will also enter into the battery life cycle business. We will expand the scope of our battery business to include the areas of charging service, energy service, and reuse and recycle to build a stable business foundation. Then in the second half of the 2020s, when we will expect to see the popularization of EVs, we will further expand our scope and strive to build a vertically integrated comprehensive EV value chain from procurement of raw materials, mainly for batteries, through production of EVs and battery reuse and recycling. In Canada, we will begin in-house production of the battery co-developed with the GIS USA. We will proceed to internalize production by producing cathode materials with POSCO, Future M, and separators with Asahi Kasei. Moreover, we're aiming to build a comprehensive value chain with an eye toward secondary use and recycling of EV batteries. In addition to optimizing battery prices and achieving a stable supply, we will ensure the comprehensive competitiveness of our entire value chain. As of 2030, we will reduce the cost of the battery to be procured in North America by more than 20% compared to the current batteries. As for batteries necessary for about 2 million units of EVs we are planning to produce in 2030, we have a positive outlook to secure enough batteries and will begin to implement the plans in each region.
We will also pursue long-term and efficient advancement of our production technologies and facilities, the key to creating attractive products by leveraging knowledge Honda has amassed in the past. During the transition period from ICE to EV up to mid-2020s, we will respond flexibly to changes in demand and business environment while ensuring profitability. We will fully leverage existing production facilities and produce both ICE and EV models on the same line. In addition, steadily incorporate underlying production technologies such as the world's first body frame joining and welding technology to realize the thin, light, and wise concept. For the production of the thin battery pack, key to EV production, we will adopt some of the future production technologies ahead of existing facilities. Production technologies advanced and matured here will be introduced to our dedicated future factory, resulting in a more efficient production system. Now let me explain the details of this thin battery pack production technology. The new battery case production line will be installed at our Anna plant in Ohio, equipped with mega cast machines, which are 6,000-ton class high-pressure die casting machines. This will significantly reduce the number of battery case and secondary parts from over 60 to 5. Also, combining the friction stir welding, or FSW, we can reduce investment and increase production efficiency. Furthermore, in Japan, we have installed a 6,000-ton mega cast machine in our production technology R&D facility in Tochigi, verifying the machine for mass production. This is the first in Japan. Including production of large cast aluminum body parts at the EV plant in Canada, which will be operational in 2028, we'll continuously advance our die casting technology. Next, the battery pack assembly line. Honda's original flex cell production system will be adopted. This combines modular parts configuration with the cell production system that brings together equipment, jigs, and associates required for production process. The early adoption of the flex cell production system will enable us to flexibly respond to changes. In addition, the digital twin, which reproduces production line conditions in cyberspace at real time, will optimize production efficiency, such as supply of parts to factories and product volume and speed for timely supply to market. We plan to further expand the scope of application of these technologies beyond the battery pack production line and apply them to all lines at our EV production facilities. The culmination of these initiatives will be demonstrated at the EV plant in Canada, with the world's top-level production efficiency, including significantly higher capacity utilization rates and reduction of fixed costs. We aim for an approximately 35% overall production cost reduction compared to conventional mixed production lines. Besides the production, procurement, and production initiatives explained, we will advance all automobile business operations, everything from planning to after-sales service, using software. Utilizing real-time data obtained from Honda's original software-defined mobility products, we can offer products and experience-based value more closely tailored to each customer with greater speed. For example, data on the latest market trends and customer preferences obtained at the dealerships will be fed back real-time to our product development and product production teams, enabling the fastest possible delivery of products fit for the needs of our customers. In addition, real-time vehicle data from connected function will be linked to our service operations, enabling us to formulate and propose optimal service menu for our customers on a real-time basis through Honda's dedicated app. Not limited to these examples, by constantly linking the entire value chain with the latest data, we will build a system that enables us to respond quickly and flexibly to rapid changes in the EV market. As I've explained, Honda is making steady progress in preparing for the age of electrification. We will realize one, high product attractiveness by taking Honda unique technological approaches. Two, high value added by advancing value proposition of our whole value chain. As for cost, we will reduce by 20% the battery cost, which accounts for approximately 40% of the total EV cost, by building a comprehensive EV value chain focused on batteries. This will help us build a competitive business structure. And through such initiatives, as of 2030, we aim for an ROS of 5% and further increase profit margin to make our BEV business self-sustaining. Now, so far, I've introduced Honda's initiatives towards 2030, when EVs become widespread. Now, I would like to introduce our lineup of electrified vehicles embracing these initiatives. First, EVs. We will strategically launch our EV models globally, mainly Honda Zero Series. The Zero Series will first debut in North America, then roll out globally. 7 Honda E0 series models, compact to large size, will be launched by 2030. In China, where the popularization of EVs are spreading, we are planning to introduce 10 Honda brand EV models by 2027. We have already announced 100% of our automobile sales in China will be EVs by 2035. Last month, we unveiled our new EV series, Ye, in addition to the EN that is available in China. Honda will continue to pursue new challenges and evolutions to boost the EV lineup in China, a market quickly shifting to EV. Regarding small EVs, we will introduce in regions where necessary and needed small EVs, starting with the N-Van E, a commercial use mini EV that will go on sale in Japan this fall. In 2026, a small EV will also be launched that emphasizes the joy of driving. It is a personal use vehicle. And also another approach Honda takes for electrification. This is a broad range of initiatives using swappable batteries. The key feature of Mobile Power Pack, or MPP, is that it is swappable. Thus, the users don't need to stand by and wait for recharging. It also can be one of the key solutions for expansion of renewable energy use.
Honda has standardized technological specifications so that MPP can be used for our products and a variety of mobility products, including those of OEMs. This year, as a new MPP application, we will introduce an electric motorcycle model powered by 2 MPPs. In fiscal year 2026, we will introduce a micromobility product equipped with 2 MPPs in Japan. We're preparing for the future where our customers can use electric mobility products casually to fulfill their needs. Honda will continue to work toward the realization of electrification and carbon neutrality by offering a full lineup of electrified products. Lastly, as for hybrid electric models for which demand is strong in the current market, we will further advance our hybrid system and steadily enhance the lineup globally as we planned. In order to achieve both further improved fuel economy and a high-quality driving experience, we will renew Honda's original 2-motor hybrid system, namely eHEV system, HEV system, and HEV platforms. After the renewal, the eHEV system will be lighter and more efficient, and the platforms will be more efficient and shared by more models. To offer greater peace of mind and fun of driving, we will repurpose our EV development technologies to our hybrid models and adopt an EAWD system. Compared to the conventional, the electric AWD system will increase maximum driving force output and enable more precise control on drive force distribution. By applying control with the motion management system, this system will realize excellent driving performance while stabilizing vehicle behaviors. We will strive to offer our advanced hybrid models to customers around the world. We will strengthen the structure of our ICE business to ensure steady earnings. Then we will invest invest funds generated by IC business into EV and others. Finally, I would like to explain our plans for the investment of resources and capital allocation to realize our electrification strategy centering around the embodiment of the Honda Zero series. It is essential to make our investments strategically at the right timing. We are planning to invest approximately 10 trillion yen in resources over the 10-year period through 2030, the period of full-fledged popularization of EVs. The 10 trillion yen investment will include approximately 2 trillion yen for R&D expenditure to realize software-defined vehicles, 2 trillion yen for the investments and capital contributions for the comprehensive EV value chains in the US, Canada, and Japan, and 6 trillion yen, a sum of 3 trillion yen for development-related expenditure and 3 trillion yen for investments for the areas related to our monozukuri, such as the production area, such as the construction of dedicated next-generation EV production plants, electrification of motorcycles, development of new EV models, and investment in die fabrication. While assessing the level of EV popularization in the market, we will flexibly make investment decisions at the appropriate timing. To proceed with our strategy, the cash generated will be allocated for 1, the investment of resources for our future growth, and 2, the return of shareholders. Our plans for company-wide capital allocation are in 2 separate phases: 5-year period from 2021 to 2025 and 5-year period from 2026 to 2030. First, from fiscal year 2022 to 26, we will generate 12 trillion yen in operating cash flow by strengthening our motorcycle and ICE HEV businesses. As explained at the financial results briefing last week, we're aiming to achieve ROS of 7% 1 year ahead of the schedule. This indicates that our business structure to generate cash is improving. For the last fiscal year, our cash flow before excluding R&D expenses amounted to 3 trillion yen. By maintaining the same level for the current and the next fiscal years, will generate cash flow of 12 trillion yen. Such cash will be allocated among EV, ICE, and HEV businesses and investment in new areas, and for stable and continuous dividend payments. Also, as we are proceeding with the plan to buy back 780 billion yen worth of our shares over the 4-year period from fiscal year 22 through fiscal year 25 to achieve the PBR of above 1 as early as possible, we will improve our capital efficiency. During the 5-year period from fiscal year 2027, positioned as the period of full-fledged business conversion from ICE to EV, we will strive to earn the same level of cash as the 2021 and 25 period. We will do this by raising operating cash flow through increasing unit sales of motorcycles in newly emerging countries and improving the business structure of ICE HEV business. We also improve profitability of our EV business, aiming for the 5% ROS and increase EV unit sales to add more operating cash flow. Both combined, we will strive to generate more cash than the 2021-2025 period. As for resource allocation, we will accelerate our investment of resources in the areas of electrification and software, and we will continue making stable dividend payments and share buybacks for shareholder returns. As for dividends, we are planning to pay more than 1.3 trillion yen for the fiscal year 2022 to 26 period, and more than 1.6 trillion yen for the fiscal year 2027 to 31 period. These dividend payments indicate that our intention to make stable payments without reducing the dividend per share, even if short-term profits fluctuate due to upfront investments necessary during the transformation period. We will maximize the cash generation from the earnings base and from the new growth areas. We will pursue both bold investments for future growth and solid shareholder returns. I explained how Honda is comprehensively and strategically proceeding with automobile electrification from a long-term perspective, as we will pursue a wide variety of initiatives. While focusing on our goal to realize a carbon-neutral society, we will continue with our initiatives to establish a robust business foundation. As I mentioned in my presentation, we're making progress in technology development for business domains, including motorcycle, power products, and hydrogen businesses to create the value Honda is striving for. In addition, including our intention to explore a strategic partnership with Nissan, and by exploring joint research with IBM announced yesterday, we are moving forward with external partners with new possibilities. We will continue to set up more opportunities to introduce and update the progress we are making in such areas as well. Please stay tuned. Thank you for joining us today.
We'll be prepared for Q&A. We ask for your indulgence. Thank you for waiting. We'd now like to start the Q&A session. First, those on stage, Director, President, and Representative Executive Officer, Toshihiro Mibe. This is Mibe. Thank you. Director, Executive Vice President, and Representative Executive Officer, Shinji Aoyama. Thank you. I'm Aoyama. Director, Executive Vice President, and Representative Executive Officer, Noriya Kaihara. I'm Kaihara. Thank you. And I'll be moderating. I am Akiba from Corporate Communications. Thank you. Those of you who have questions, please raise your hand. And please wait for the microphone to be brought to you. Please state your name and affiliation. We ask for your cooperation. And also, in the interest of time, please limit your questions to 2 per person. Thank you in advance. Those who have questions, please raise your hand. The person in the middle, towards the back. Okinaga from Nikkei. About the investment amount, if I may. Well, in 2 years, it was initially 5 trillion, but now we've increased it to double, 10 trillion. So the background, well, compared to 2 years ago, I think the EV or the software situation has changed. So can you explain what you did not factor in 2 years ago? And the earning power of hybrid, is this because the earning power has increased, that you've increased the amount to 10 trillion? Well, allow me to respond to that question. Well, electrification and software included, we initially had 5 trillion. That's 2 years ago. Well, even from that time, we're thinking about a number of things, and things have progressed during the 2 years' time. For example, EV-based, software-defined vehicle. Well, in order to attain for this, as I said earlier, 30%, 40% of the cost accounts for battery. So we have to have this in-house. In other words, be able to not only have a stable supply, but also try to reduce cost and also evolve the battery performance. So this part, I think, needs to be done in-house for the sake of stable supply from the upstream to downstream. We talked about value chain building, and we want to be able to do this in-house at Honda. And we think that will significantly boost our competitiveness. Of course, it will be a huge investment, including the battery factory. But for that, we think that with the EV business to follow, we will be able to recoup our investment. And that is the reason for this increase. And about the value of automobiles, not just making EVs, I think what will be needed is to rely on AI and to produce software-defined vehicles. This will lead to new values of automobiles. So we have to strengthen our development of software. And the amount that we decided 2 years ago was not enough for this purpose. So this has been increased. So these are the 2 major factors for which we have doubled from 5 trillion to 10 trillion yen. Of course, we need money to do this, and we need the foundation to support this. We have to have the power to generate cash. We think that we have that power, and we are quite confident. We do have the capability to secure enough cash, and that is the reason why we announced this 10 trillion number today. That is all from me. Thank you. Well, about hybrid, I think this will be a contributor to your cash. So because you're doing these in tandem, you can make this bold decision. You can tap on your strength. Is that correct? Allow me to add some explanation here. Well, basically, the earning power of hybrids, has it increased? Well, it's as planned. What I mean by that is that after the 23 model, we have been, well, in North America, it's CRV, Accord, our hybrid system cost. Well, this compared to the conventional has improved 25%. And in addition, in this beginning of the latter half of this decade, we think they will become more efficient and the performance will be enhanced further. And therefore, we will be able to gain earning power. It's not the case that we've changed our plan, but originally we were planning for this earning power. But when we talk about investment and development investment, this 10 trillion yen investment, well, the earning power of hybrid alone is not the factor. Well, of course, this will be a source for this investment. But in addition to that, battery EV profitability, this business potential. In order to assure this, we need to make this investment or spend this much money on development. That is the judgment that we've handed down. Well, as Aoyama has just said, well, in North America mainly, our hybrid business is doing quite well, and our hybrids, we're doing for decades, and we have steadily reduced the cost and improved the performance. From 23, we have this newest system, but the hybrid. Yes, we think of that with the ICE compared to the ICEs. It is the hybrids are profitable and have the capability to be profitable. And then in the latter half of this decade, we want to further evolve our hybrids and improve efficiency, but at the same time reduce cost, and it will become more compact in size. And therefore, we are planning for such a new hybrid that we newly developed. And so while we continue with the hybrid business, so we want to be able to generate cash. And this is the plan that we have. Well, last fiscal year, we had some 1.5 million hybrids. Well, that's our target, rather. But last fiscal year it was 1 million. And as we increase, of course, we have to think about our production capability. And I don't know how far we can go at this point in time, but more or less. Well, I think we may be able to make it to 1.8 million. And the peak will be in 29 or 30. I think the hybrid peak will come around 2029, 30. And we are thinking of how to meet this increase in demand. Also, we have to think about the suppliers, motors, a PCU, battery. So all these things have to be in place to make these cars. We have to make adjustments with them and try to realize a volume increase. So we're planning for that right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? The person on this side, the third row from the back. This is Nishimura from KJJ. Thank you for your presentation today. So, along with environment, your value is also on safety. So, your target of zero accidental fatality in 2050. As for that, you also said 2030 is one milestone for that. And so 3 years have passed since then. So as for the milestone of 2030, what progress has been made? That is my first question. And on those lines, the key will be Honda sensing for the automobiles. For Honda, however, unfortunately, although it has been popularized, the right way of using that has not been spread yet. So what are your views on this as well? You said the right way of using it. Can you please elaborate on that? For example, VCAS, although it's not meant for hands-free, some people use it hands-free. And also, some people use it on roads that are not meant to be driven on. So, as for our safety strategy, we are deploying Honda sensing on all models in order to achieve our zero fatalities and traffic accidents. But there's some gap between regions in Japan. It's going according to plan, is decreasing the number of fatalities. However, in North America, on the other hand, it is increasing slightly. And it is very hard to identify the reasons for that. But during COVID pandemic and after that, we are analyzing those periods in order to come to a conclusion. However, not only by developing or deploying Honda sensing, it will not help us to achieve our goal of zero fatalities. So right now we are pressing ahead with the analysis activity, and the ADS system, and along with the Honda sensing, we are planning on deploying those on all Honda models, and also in Asia, especially the education regarding software educational training will be very important. In regions such as Asia, we are planning on reinforcing such an activity. To be more specific, in this age of digital devices, we as Honda will create a training system or education system for this safety and have them use that system in their educational environment. So that is what we are implementing in the Asian region. So strategy will differ between regions. However, we are pressing ahead toward achieving our goal of zero fatalities. And we're not going to change our plans and goals. That is the goal we have set, and we have not changed that. So the goal of zero fatalities for 2050, that is the huge premise. And also the 50% reduction for 2030, we have not changed that either. However, currently, as Mibe said, in the U.S., after corona pandemic period, it has increased slightly. The KPI in our operational development, of course, Honda sensing application rate has been identified for each region, and also the right way of using ADAS as well. We are planning on deploying that fully as well. Thank you very much.
Next question. Well, then, the next question. The second from the front. Yokoyama from Toyo Keizai magazine. I also have two questions. About the image of your units in 2030. Well, yes, you have been talking about the BEVs, 2 million, but with the Zero Series. Plus, in China, you're going to have a different brand. So, by region, can you give the breakdown of the BEVs or the platform? Can you elaborate more? Well, the mega casting, well, I think that it will be applied to the Zero Series first. But the production method, the approach, are you going to expand it to others? Or is it just fit for battery? Can you elaborate on this? Well, about the breakdown of the 2 million units that we've said. Well, from the past, we have been saying to some people that it's approximately 2 million. North America, China will be half and half, and the remaining will be Asia. Well, so we have been thinking about it, 750,000, 750,000 each for U.S. and China, and the remaining, the others, like just Asia. But platform, as of 2030, the Zero Series will be the centerpiece, but some in Japan, in the small segment, the platform may be included here, we think. About production, well, Mr. Mibe has already presented the plan, and we will have a dedicated BEV architecture, and think of the production from that perspective. So we're not thinking of carrying over the conventional production method. Well, production. Well, I think we will, in the beginning, focus on mixed production on the same line. But when we decided that we will have an EV dedicated line, the 240,000 units in Canada and China, both together, 240,000. So those will be the dedicated plants. But others, we have to look at the market trend, whether the mixed production or dedicated factory is desirable. Well, I think that this is something that we have to judge going forward. But as for the dedicated factories, this is the Canada factory mainly. So we want to deploy this globally, what we do in Canada. Thank you. And my second question. You talked about this mega casting. I think you're starting with the battery case, but other competitors, they use it for the body components. But why are you starting with battery case? Well, eventually, are you going to deploy this to battery case, the body? So is there any reason for this plan? Well, as I've already explained, the mega cast. Well, if it's good that you combine everything, is that the best way? No, it's not as simple as that. For example, if you have to make a repair, for example, if something occurs, considering all these things, there are different parameters to make the judgment. But as a first step, we think that battery case, we call it IPU, but it's a big block. It's a 6,000-ton machine that we're talking about, and there are two components put together. So by doing this, I think that we had more than 60 components, and that can be reduced to 5. And that will itself will be a big effect, contributing to weight reduction. So we want to start from there. And so that large casting technology will be acquired. And then, well, I cannot give you a clear answer to this, but we will think of incorporating this to our body technology, but I cannot really say anything for clear. Well, giga casting, it sounds as if it's the most advanced technology, but it's not that easy. You have to take into consideration a number of things, and therefore, we first want to start with the battery case. And in the next generation, I think these technologies will be incorporated into the body, etc. Of course, we are doing research now. And if you go to R&D, you see this huge body block. So they are doing the research, and we have to decide what will be the best option. So that will be for the next generation. But the next one, the first step will be the battery case. Well, a thin light is the focus here. So we want to make thin the battery case, and I think this method is quite effective. It reduces the weight, so it contributes to thin weight. Thank you.
Anyone else have any question? The second row from the back, all the way to the back. This is Shimashita. I'm a freelance. Thank you for your presentation today. So what you have presented today was focusing on hardware mainly. So this is a new value of EV, how to embody that or realize that. I think that was the focus of the presentation. So what is the value of EV? When we discussed that last time, and there was a mention that it is the value of space. However, that was still up in discussion, or it seems like you have come to some kind of conclusion compared to that time, including hardware and specification. So from that perspective, Honda, through these software and hardware, will provide the value of EV. So what is actually the value of that? And also, would that be different from ICE and HEV, different Honda? Could you elaborate on that? So the value of next vehicle will be software-defined vehicle, SDV. So that is for sure the next direction. So the value of software is the difficult part. The center at the center is ADAS is one. That's what we are considering will be the core. So yesterday it was announced that we will be co-developing with IBM, and that is one part of that. That is brain-inspired computing. So that is a brain-type computer technology. That's what we are going to research together. That's high speed and high performance AI will be mounted on each vehicle. That is what we should aim for. So the cost for software development, which is at 2 trillion, as was presented today, is also included in that development cost. So in the 2030s, compared to now, we are aiming for vehicles that are highly advanced compared to now, and also after the highly advanced ADAS. What is the value of space? That is also under discussion right now. And there are so many thoughts and ideas internally. We cannot focus just on one, but eventually maybe we will customize a vehicle that will be in line with customers' preference and needs, just like smartphones. So those possibilities we are considering right now in order to achieve such goals, and also the value of the vehicle. We need hardware to achieve such values. So the architecture is very important, as well as vehicle OS. And we have to take on such a job of achieving those things. That's what we have made judgment on some time ago, and also the vertically integrated hardware, value chain, and software, and semiconductors, including all those factors. We are going to achieve our capability for designing such software-defined vehicles in order to survive in the comparison in the field. So that is what we are striving for. And the year 2030 is only 5 years away, so we have to accelerate our activity toward that as well. Thank you.
We apologize, but in the interest of time, the next question will be the last question. Please raise your hand. The person up front. Nakamura from Yomiuri Shimbun newspaper. I have two questions too. First, about the battery cost reduction, the method that you explained earlier. Well, this is for the North American market, I think, what is produced in North America. But what about the battery cost reduction in China? How do you see the status quo? Looking at your current business partners, including collaboration in China, are you going to try to produce batteries in-house also in China? In regards to China, it's very difficult for us to set up a factory in China. And in China, in terms of reducing the cost, CATL is the supplier right now of battery. And what we're doing right now is with our joint venture partners. With three of us, we will have a joint purchasing company. And by bundling together with Guangzhou and Dongfang, we think that we can secure volume. And in terms of reducing cost, the capacity will go down too, but LFP. This battery also has possibility. So we are currently considering, but at this point in time, I cannot say that we're going to use it. But in China, in such a way, we're trying to reduce the cost, or seeking for the possibility to reduce cost. But at this point in time, I cannot give you a specific method of course, we want to reduce the cost in China, so we'll continue to study what is possible. Thank you. Second question. You talked about megacast, and you will start with the battery, installing this equipment. And what about the main unit? And as you said, well, installing equipment is not an easy thing. What are the challenges in trying to install such equipment? Well, by what year, I cannot really say. I cannot give you a timeline. But we have been doing the R&D for quite a long time, thinking about the immediate future and also the long run. We are working on the next generation battery EV. So it'll be the latter half of this decade. But in some way or another, well, a megacast or gear casting, well, it's not just that technology, but rather, well, the technology is evolving, and unlike the current vehicles, performance and cost, there will be vehicles which have high potential coming out in the second half of this decade. So we are doing the research to make this happen. So in the latter half of the 2020s, we think that such technology will be incorporated. And also, something about serviceability from Mr. Kaihara. Yes, you're forcing me to say something, right? Because I haven't talked. Well, of course, we have to seek for performance, but ultimately, we have to think about resource circulation. So the overall design will be very important for that. That included, we have to think about the body and go step by step. I think that's the important point that we have to take into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nakamura. So with that, the 2024 business briefing session will be closed. Thank you very much for your participation and watching the live broadcast for such a long time.